Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Am I audible to you? If I'm audible to you, kindly message me in the chat box. Okay, good. So I think I am audible to everyone. So my name is Mohammad Abdullah bin Azhar. I am in fourth year of my MBBS, and we will be going through the basics of your MBBS, because most of you are from Jinnah Sindh Medical University and other universities from Karachi. So I have seen that for the private medical colleges, your classes have already started, but for the government sector universities, the classes have just started. So I was just waiting for you guys so that you can actually join the university, and then these sessions will be more relevant for you. So most of you have messaged eTutor Finder for the questions that you had. So I have already tried to include most of the stuff in the PPT, but if you have some further question, you can then later on message me in the chat box, and question and answers we will do at the end. Okay, so starting now. What is your MBBS course outline? Your MBBS course outline is that it is a 5-year course. So you will have first year, second year, third, fourth, and fifth, and it will be followed by your house job. Currently, you are in first year. So in your first year and your second year, it is basically the basic sciences part. So you will only talk about anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry, the basic health sciences. Once you are done with these two things, then in the third year and in your fourth year, you will talk about clinical sciences that will involve pathology, pharmacology. I know in some universities in Punjab and Dow as well, you start with the pathology, microbiology from your first year, but that is only an intro. You will not go into detail. They will only talk about general pharmacology, general pathology. And I think some of you would have already started the pathology course, or so your teachers would talk about it definitely. But the detail part you will do in your third and fourth year. Those are your clinical years. So the most important ones are actually the third and fourth year, but in your first and second year, if your basics are good, only then you can progress to other years. The fifth year is mainly the one that you will go to the wards and you will stay there, and it's like basically medicine and surgery. And after that, your house job will start. So we will only discuss right now about the three basic sciences that you will deal: anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. So what exactly is anatomy? In anatomy, you have three divisions: general anatomy, microscopic anatomy, which is also known as histology, and then embryology. In general anatomy, you will talk about the overall structure of the human body, what you can see from your eye, the gross overall picture that you have, what you can see from your eye. So the basic or the most conceptual thing for anatomy, the general anatomy, is that whatever you can see from your eye. And if you take a microscope, if you see the same things under a microscope, this is microscopic anatomy or the histology. You also have to study a little bit about the embryology. I know this is something that nobody likes. We are talking about how the baby develops, the whole 9 months and everything, and it's quite detailed. And honestly, there is no significant link to what you will do later on, but still it is compulsory. You have to do it. But the good thing is the weightage of the embryology portion is quite low. In your first module, in your, I think in the foundation module, more than 70% of your embryology will be covered. And in the rest of the modules, like in the cardiovascular GIT module, you will only talk about the embryology or the development of your heart, lungs, and etc. etc. So it's not that difficult. Only it will trouble you in the foundation module, and rest of the part is mainly the general anatomy and the microscopic anatomy. Now, coming to physiology. Physiology is basically the branch of science that deals with the normal functioning of the body. And this is extremely important for you to know. Because if you don't know what's normal, then you cannot identify the pathology or things that are going wrong with your body. In your course, like if you give this thing a weightage, like it's 30% is almost physiology, 30% is your anatomy, and the remaining 40% is biochemistry and other miscellaneous things that you have. So physiology is a very, very big thing. So if you combine all the anatomy, general anatomy, embryonic and everything, it will equal to physiology. So if you're good in physiology, then your exam scores will also be good. You will open the book and you will see that they will teach you physiology in like parts, like functions of the body. So they will start like how normal circulatory system work, nervous system work, digestive system work. So if you're coming from like the A-level background, you would have covered up a lot of stuff already, like skeletal system you have already done, circulatory system, nervous system you have already done. If you're coming from the inter background, you would have done the embryology part already. You would have done the digestive system in detail. Okay, so there is like perks of coming from A level as well and coming from the intersyllabus as well. But now all of you are the same and you have to follow the same course. Biochemistry is basically talking about the normal physiology and some pathological process as well at the cellular level. So the key concept is biochemistry is all about what happens at the cellular level. And this is something that students find very, very difficult. It's quite boring as well, because the thing is when you will open any book, they will just talk about mechanism, this happens like that, and you have a long Krebs cycle, etc., etc. So it has a lot of memorization and you have to take it the same way. Okay. So a lot of students message me about like how will you be tested. That's good. Like at the starting of the year, you are concerned about what will happen in your actual exams. So your exam pattern is very simple. You have two things only. You have a MCQ paper. There will be two parts for the MCQ paper. Right now, I'm only focusing for the first year. So you will have paper 1, which will be foundation module and blood module. You will have paper 2, which will consist of respiratory module, your cardiovascular system, your locomotor, and then your GIT track. Now, GIT is something that varies every time. In some university that they teach it in the first year, in some universities they teach it in the second year, but up till this part, everything is going to come. Both of the papers are for 150 marks, and you have separate distribution that I will share with you later on, like how much questions will come from anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. So you have separate things. And tell me one thing, if my do you think my voice is lagging or is it clear? You can message me in the chat box. And if, for example, if you see that if my voice is lagging or there's some problem, try to reconnect. I think it will help. After the MCQ paper, you have two papers which every student is confused about: the observed paper and the unobserved paper. These are the OSPE. OSPE are basically the application of what you have learned. Your MCQ paper is quite a bookish paper. You just choose A, B, C, D, that's it. But these OSPEs, they will actually make you a doctor. They will talk about the application of whatever you have learned. So there are two parts to it. The observe OSPE, which is basically a Viva. It is called observe, or it's like a home OSPE because it's easy. Examiner will be there. The person will ask you question verbally, like define apoptosis, define the normal, what you can say, if I link it to physiology, how your heart functions, the cardiac cycle. They will ask you questions verbally. Every question will be worth 2 marks, and they will ask you 5 to 6 questions and they will give you the numbers. This is the easy paper. Okay, this is the easy one. It's like simple Viva. They will ask you question. They will even help you. The examiners are quite good. Nobody is going to fail you until and unless you're totally blank in the exam. So it's a easy paper. This paper is somewhat difficult. So in different parts of Pakistan, so in Punjab, you have to write the stuff. Okay, in the unobserved OSPE, you have to write things. In the KPK as well, you have to write things. But in the Sindh portion in Karachi, you now what they have done, they have moved to digital paper. Like you have to type the same thing. You don't need to write anything, you need to type it. So they are digitalizing. So it depends on which university you're studying. So whether it will be a written paper or a typing paper. But the idea will be they will give you a picture or they will give you a scenario. The easiest one which you will understand is that they will give you a picture of a child that is malnourished. He is having an extended belly. So they will ask you, what is your probable diagnosis? So this question is very simple, that this child is suffering from Kwashiorkor. So you will write Kwashiorkor. Then they will ask you, this disease is caused by what? Deficiency of what? The answer will be protein. So this is also something easy, But the thing is that this is picture based, scenario based. So if your clinical thinking is good, if your overall conceptual knowledge is good, only then you can do the unobserved OSPE paper. And you would have noticed from your seniors in first year, second year, third year, or whatever year you are in, most of the students fail this paper, unobserved OSPE, because they do not have any clinical knowledge. They do not have any linking, you can say conceptual knowledge. And this paper deliberately is made difficult. So a student who is able to pass this exam, usually fails in this one. But if you're studying conceptually, if your concepts are clear, then I don't think this paper will be difficult. Now coming to something that really bothered me in my first year, second year as well, and every student that comes up. Whenever you ask somebody which books to follow, they will tell you a whole list of the books. And honestly speaking, it's not possible for you to buy them or to read them. You have 3 subjects with you. And if for every subject, if you have 3 books, so I do not expect you to read 9 books daily. Okay, it's not possible for you to do it. So what type of books basically you will encounter? So some of them are the course book that your university teachers, your lecturer, your professors will tell you to buy. These are the course book. These are like complete knowledge, everything in detail, quite time consuming. After that, you will get review books and short book. This is something that is quite helpful for you, but you will notice that your teachers will always discourage you from going to the short books. They are thinking good about you. They will say you this thing because they want you to have complete knowledge. But the thing is, if you're struggling with something and I give you the whole PhD knowledge about that thing, it will not help you. If you want to pass the exam, if you want to make quick concept, if you want to cover the syllabus quickly, let's suppose after 2 months you have an exam, then these books will not help you. You have to come to the review books. Another thing is MCQs and OSPE practice book. You will find a lot of material available in Urdu Bazaar and everywhere, but the problem is authors have made the questions on their own. They have no link to what you will be tested. So if you are using any OSPE book or any MCQ practice book, try to make sure that these are actual past papers from your university. Because in your actual exam, these actual past papers are going to repeat because they have a question, they have a big question bank, like 15,000 questions or like 1,500 questions. And every time out of those 1,500, 150 questions are going to come. So if you practice this question bank, there's a chance of the questions repeating or getting a similar question will increase. Then you have the books for USMLE and the PLAB. These books are, as written over here, they will only help you to pass the USMLE PLAB exams. They will not help you for the university, but definitely you have to prepare for these exams as well. And we will go to them at the end of the session, that how to prepare for them. Just the basics, the detailed one we will do later on. You will also come across some journals and lab manuals. These are very, very important for you because these things are only available in the university. You will find no biochemistry lab manual online, physiology lab manual online. So you have to buy them from the university and study from them. There is no alternate to this. And they are very good. Like universities that they make the manuals, they are very, very good and they're quite precise. So you have to learn from these manuals. And another important thing for this manual is your OSPEs are made from these manuals. So when you will open the manual book, I think some of you would already have it. You will have a picture and you will have information on that picture. Same thing will come in your exam as well. They will give you a picture and then they will give you 4 or 5 bullet points and similar things will come in the exam. Okay, so these journals are very, very important for you. Now, I hope that all of you would have already bought the books, even if you're in the universities which have just started, because I have seen students studying for MBBS the day they got the admission. They don't wait for their medical college to open, and that's a good thing. So this is the course book. This is like a textbook for detailed knowledge. If you want to get a distinction in your university, you should follow the Guyton book. If you want to take screenshot, you can take the screenshot of these. After that, this is something that will help you to prepare for your actual exam. BRS physiology book. Okay, this is basically a book. In the start of the book, you will have a quick review of the whole chapter. Following that, you will get MCQs. These MCQs will help you for the university exam. Some of the examiners, they even copy these MCQs. Same MCQs, control C, control V will come in your actual paper. So you have to use the BRS physiology book. And if you're preparing for USMLE PLAB, they will also help you. Now, this is a book which is a short book, which your teachers will most of the time say that do not follow this, but this book is essential for you. It's like the golden piece of information that you have. Your university MCQs, your OSPI is made from this book. Very childish questions are going to come in your exam. Like some people are colorblind. So there is a specific term for the people who are blue colorblind. It is written in this book. It is not written in guidance on anywhere. There are certain people who are red colorblind. So they will ask you, some people are red colorblind. What do we call them? A, B, C, D. If you have read Guyton, you cannot pass the exam. So some questions are a little bit retta based. So you have to study from these books as well. And try to buy the latest edition. This book has updated to the 21st one. Now, this is a very important book, the BD Handbook of the General Anatomy. And this is very, very important for your foundation module. Your foundation module anatomy paper will be 100% from this book, the General Anatomy paper. So you have to read this book. At the end of every chapter, you have 10 to 12 MCQs, and similar MCQs will come in your exam. So you have to follow this book for the foundation module. After the foundation module, that's it. It only has the basic part, nothing more than that. Yes, definitely, Komal, the Firdaus book is very important. You have to follow it because it's like experience. I don't want you to have this experience after giving the exam, getting into a supplementary paper, and then recommending everyone like this book helped me. Okay, so start studying from day one because your exams are getting quite tougher, especially the GSNU exams. And I'm telling you this part, your seniors won't tell you that the passing percentage for any MBBS year is almost like 75%. So 1/4 of you that who are taking the session, God forbid, like there is a chance that you're going to fail the exam because 75% of the students only pass the exam. Okay, so you have to be on those like 75%. So papers are not easy. Then for the anatomy part, Gray's Anatomy is a very good book. It's a textbook, but it's not that lengthy. It has a lot of diagrams, and anatomy is all about diagrams. The best thing will be that if you can get an atlas, get an atlas. Otherwise, get photocopy of this book, or you can print it out as well. It's available in the PDF form also, and paste it in your notes, so that whenever you open your book, you can get a basic idea like what's the anatomy of the hand, which nerves are going through, which muscles are supplied, whatever the nervous or the blood supply is. Because anatomy is all about pictorial learning, and this field has evolved a lot. So whenever you are learning anatomy, please don't try the old method like you are seeing dissection videos. It's good, but it's old now. Or you're reading the book. Try to follow the latest things that you have. Okay. So the latest things basically means 3D models. If you can get access to the actual skeletons, that will really help you. You have them in plastic form as well. Now, this is the book that will help you for the OSPI paper, KLM Anatomy. How will it help you for the anatomy paper? Because you have a lot of thing in this paper that is clinically orientated. Because what will happen in the exam for the anatomy, I think your locomotor module will be starting. So they will say which nerve is damaged when you have a claw hand deformity, which nerve is damaged when you have a foot drop. And the answers are very, very simple. You will just tell the name of the nerve. The question will ask you like you have wasting of the thenar muscle, which nerve is damaged. So you just need to name it. And all these clinicals damages are mentioned in this book. So if you want to prepare for the OSPI at the end, you have to go through the KLM tables, and the blue boxes that you have, those blue boxes are basically the clinical stuff. After that, again, BRS anatomy I'm recommending because this is very important. You will also see when I will share the past papers with you, the actual past papers. So in that actual past papers, you will see that the MCQs are coming from this book, BRS anatomy book. So you have to use it for MCQ practice and quick review. Now coming to the part of histology. Histology is something that when you will like learn it in the college or your medical school, your teachers will just teach you this part superficially. But In the paper, they will ask you everything in detail. So there is a quite a big gap between what they will teach you and what they will test you on. So that gap you actually have to make up for. So histology is basically the study of the cell. So what you have to do for histology, you have to look a lot of pictures. You have to identify. And even in the OSPI paper, what they will do, they will give you a microscope. There are two possibilities. Either they will ask you to adjust the slide or the slide will be already adjusted. They will ask you to see the slide. And then they will ask you from which part of the body this specimen is taken. And trust me, when you see things under the microscope, all the body looks similar. You can search it on the internet as well. Try to later on search the histology of the lungs, histology of the spleen, histology of the thymus. You will be quite confused. Everything is in pink color. And you will be just thinking like how to identify this is the thymus, this is the spleen, this is the kidney, etc., etc. So you have to memorize the identification point. Now, this book is very, very important for you, like Hussain, medical histology. Your university MCQs are made from this book. A lot of things are quite bookish, quite some things that you have to memorize. And all of this stuff will actually come from this book. So if you want to prepare at the end for the university paper, you have to follow this book, medical histology, and for the MCQs. So those of you who are joining late, you can still join the session. I think the link is already there. And if my voice is not good, try to reconnect. And now come to the part of embryology. I told you embryology is quite difficult. And even if you're preparing for USMLE or PLAB, their focus on embryology is not that much. In the PLAB paper, they won't ask you embryology. In the USMLE step 1, they will ask you basic embryology, clinical embryology, more importantly. So this embryology, you just have to study for your university exam. That's it. So if you really like embryology, I will tell you one textbook, you can go through that. But if you don't like embryology, you are just like, I want to pass this exam, Sharjil's Human Embryology is the best book for you. It has short tables. And even in the OSPI paper, what they will ask you, they will just ask you, explain to me how the lung development of the lungs, development of the kidney. So you will find there are like 5 points. And even in the exam, they will expect you to tell those 5 points word to word. So it's simply something you have to memorize before the OSPI, give the OSPI, the embryology is done for you. And as I told you, it's only for the foundation module, it will bother you. And after that, the weightage will decrease to, I think, only 5 to 10%. Now this book, Developing Human, is quite important for you if you want to study this in detail. Like if you have interest in going to the pediatric side, gynecology, OBS, then you can study this book in detail. But if you just want to pass the exam, the Sharjeel Embryology short book is more than enough for you. And now coming to biochemistry. For biochemistry, students find this very difficult. So I would suggest that if you do not like biochemistry at all, if you're really struggling on it, just follow the university slides and you will be good with it. But if you want to prepare for the USMLE exams or the PLAB exam, then you have to follow Lippincott. So Isha, yes, I think I have told earlier that KLM you have to follow the clinically orientated one book for anatomy. And even in the Gray's Anatomy, you will find 2 books: Gray's Anatomy for students and Gray's Anatomy for postgraduate. So you don't need to follow the postgraduate one. Even the student edition is more than enough for you. Now, this is another important book, Satya Narayan biochemistry book. It's a very good book. It has biochemistry in detail. I have noticed that in recent year, your MCQ paper is more in line with this book. And I know that your teachers will also discourage you from studying from Lippincott because they want you to study biochemistry in detail. But now it's up to you. If you like biochemistry, you can study it in detail. If you do not like it, you can study from the short. Lippincott is not exactly a short book. This one is like a more extended edition for the biochem. Then again, you have BRS for biochemistry. In this book, there is just one addition that I want to tell you. Molecular biology and genetics you can skip. This is something that you will do in your I think third year or fourth year, or maybe a little bit in second year. So you can skip the questions on molecular biology and genetics. Now only try to follow the actual past papers from your university. Okay, so mine is asking that even if you just study from Sharjeel, yes, it's enough for you. You will get good marks in your embryology paper, because when you will open the Sharjeel book, it's quite long. It is a short book, but it has everything in precise manner, so it covers up everything. So it is more than enough for you. And if you have any questions, we will go through them at the end. We have time, so we will go through them at the end. Now, as I was telling you, only follow the actual past papers. When you will go to any bookshop or anything, they will show you a lot of past papers. Those are just, you can say, useless for you, because these questions will not repeat. The only question that will repeat will be the papers from JSMU, Dow, or the University of Health Sciences. These three resources are quite good for you. I think Bolan Medical College is also good. I forgot to write over here. So Bolan Medical College, past papers are also very good, and you can find them on the internet, and you have Google Drives as well. I will try to share them with you. So if you follow them, I think the university papers won't be a problem for you. Okay, now come to the part of USMLE step 1. So what USMLE is, I'm just going to go through it in like a short form, just to give you an idea. We have a very detailed session on it and how to prepare for it and all the details for it. So USMLE is an exam that you have to give if you want to practice in the States. It has 3 steps: step 1, step 2, step 3. But right now your focus should be on step 1. And in the step 1, only the basic clinical sciences will be tested, like pathology, basic, and pharmacology, anatomy, biochemistry. So the book that you have to follow is this one, First Aid. I think the ideal thing should be that try to get this book in your first year. It's a very easy book, quite reader friendly. Just go through it and read it only. Even if you read it, it will help you for your university exam also. And automatically you will be preparing for the steps as well. After that, you have Kaplan series. So Kaplan has videos as well and notes as well. So you have to follow only 3 right now: anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. Kaplan notes for anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry, and try to follow the latest edition 2022. And you can find them online, and you can also buy them from any bookshop. And they are very, very good. And all these that I'm telling you, these are for your step 1, okay, and not for the actual exam. So yes, all of these things that I'm telling you, they are available in PDF. You can search on the internet and you can find them. Now coming to the part which videos you have to watch. 4 important videos for the step 1 preparation are Boards and Beyond. This is your golden resource. You have to watch videos from Boards and Beyond from your first year, because this person will teach you in so much detail that your university exams will be quite easy for you. So you have to study, you have to watch videos from Boards and Beyond, only for 3 subjects: physiology, pharmacology, and biochemistry. Lectorio is another good website. It has just evolved recently, but you will find very, very good videos on it, especially on the embryology part. If you do not understand embryology by just reading it, I would suggest you to go to Lectorio and to get the embryo videos. Kaplan also has videos. KenHub is a very, very important source for your anatomy. If you are struggling with anatomy, you have to go to KenHub. Now, the golden resource is your UWorld. UWorld are very, very important. And the biggest mistake students make who are preparing for step 1 is that they wait, and wait. And they wait so that they think that they are prepared enough to solve these. I know these papers are difficult, but you don't need to worry about it. Just start doing them. You will get an idea. You will get a taste of how to prepare for the step 1. And that's it. Okay. So just start doing the UWorld question as soon as possible. Don't wait for your third year or fourth year, because the earlier you will start, the more better your preparation will be. And now coming to some useful YouTube channels. So Osmosis is very important. Ninja Nerd will also help you. So you can find a lot of videos for free on these YouTube channels. Osmosis is for anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, everything. Now, if you're finding anatomy difficult, or if you have an interest in surgery, you want to study anatomy in detail, or if you want to study for USMD PLAB, anything, these two resources are extremely essential for you. Anatomy Zone has 3D models. So he will explain to you stuff in 3D models, like how the muscles are attached, which nerves are going on. So this will teach you, this YouTube channel will teach you everything in detail. And most of the videos are free of cost from the YouTube. The second channel is the Nabil Ibrahim. He's a excellent teacher. And the most important thing for this guy is that he will teach you the clinicals that your university will never teach you. Okay, all the clinical stuff that will be tested in your MCQ paper, he will teach you. So what you can do is try to watch the videos and try to take the screenshot of the video, and then try to paste those screenshot in your notes. The whole video is hardly what you can say 10 slides long. So if you print out those 10 slides or 2 to 5 slides, your MCQ paper will go very good. Your OSPs will also go very good. So this is very, very important. Now, this is my Facebook page, so you can like my Facebook page. On that Facebook page, I will share with you notes. And if I have any upcoming workshop or online classes, we will guide you over there. And hopefully I will keep one on the preparation of step 1 as well, because a lot of students who are in second year and third year, they have started preparing for it. And I would really like to thank eTutor Finder, who, like, the whole team managed this quite well. And if you need any help, help in USMLE preparation, PLAB preparation, you can always message them. They will help you. And if you need any help, if you're finding MBBS difficult, if you need help for it, you can get that. Now, if you have any questions, you can ask me. You can also raise your hand. I will unmute you and you can ask me directly. Or if you want to ask in the chat box, you can message me in the chat box. And yes, yes, mine, your biochemistry slides are enough if you want to pass the foundation module. One second. There, Mahin, you have important diagrams for embryology and clinicals, and when you will open the Churchill book, you will find them. Even in the developing human, you have small blue boxes, or I think pink boxes, in which they will tell you the clinicals that are important for the BCQ paper. I am getting a lot of messages, so if your question is missed, try to send it again. And yes, Sundar, you have to learn all the labelings of the anatomy. All the labelings are, because what is anatomy? Anatomy is telling you how to name stuff. Okay, so you have to do the things. I will try to upload the recorded session. I will share the link with you. You can share it with your friends as well. Definitely, if you are aiming for USMLE, you have to take the first aid book. You have to take it. It's a must. If you are aiming for USMLE, Bhaktawar, you have to take it. It's like the golden resource. USMLE, you have UWorld, you have to solve them. BNB videos, you have to watch. These are a must. Otherwise, you cannot do it. But the good thing is, recently they have shifted from a score system to pass fail. So they will only give you a pass or fail result. So you don't need to study that hard, but still you have to pass the exam. And the BCQs from the anatomy you can find from the BRS. The clinicals you can find from the BRS or the KLM book. Okay, now Komal has asked me that you have a foundation module exam from like in 15 days. So how can you study for that? So I'm breaking it down into biochemistry. You just have 15 days. So study from the slides. It is enough. For embryology, go with the Sharjeel book. That's enough for you. For anatomy, I have showed you the BD Chaurasia book. You have to follow it. Your foundation module will be good. For histology, try to read the Lycosan book. The MCQs will come from that. And physiology, you have to read Guyton. There is no substitute to it for now. And Firdaus, if you can buy it right now, I think most of the topics are covered over there as well. But whether you are aiming for USMLE PLAB or university exams, if you want to get good grades, you have to read the long books in detail. Okay, now Isha has asked me that do you have to cover up the whole syllabus? The time is short. The simple answer is you don't need to cover up the whole syllabus because your preparation depends on how much time you have. If you don't have enough time, go with the short book. But if your module is like 2 months away, you have just started right now, then read the course books. Right now for the foundation module, if you don't have enough time, you can just read the Firdaus book. It will be enough for you. Now, Bakhtawar, you have asked that should we start USMLE in the first year or we can start from second year? The sooner you start, the better it is for you. And I'm telling you one thing, the journal trended, if you go 3-4 years back, people, they gave USMLE exam after their house job. But now as the competition is increasing, you need clinical experience as well from the states. You need letter of recommendation, you need research paper, you need time for that. So ideally, you should start this from first year. Now, Miriam Ali, as you have asked me that in JSMU, they are teaching you pathology, pharmacology from third year. So ideally, the time to give step 1 exam is like after your fourth year. Okay, but if you're quite good at it, you can even give it at the start of fourth year. Because when your fourth year is going to end, only then you will be completely done with pathology and pharmacology. So after your fourth year, you can give it. But if you want to study on your own, if you want to go beyond your university, you can start studying pathology, pharmacology from your second year, not from first year, from your second year. Okay, some of you have a question about like what is USMLE. I will cover this up in detail because this is something that a lot of students don't know. And the sad part is a lot of bright students don't know. Okay, so they don't know about it, they never prepare for it, and when they go to their fourth year and they see their fellow students going into US, it's a setback for them. Because if you know this early, you can prepare for it, you can go to states, the doctor's salaries are very good, you can settle in America, and everything is very good over there. All the books that I have showed you, okay, I'm showing you this again, 1 second. All the books that I've showed you, you can get these books in PDF form. And the videos that I showed you for like the BNB, I will share a folder with you. It's a mega folder, 700 GB one. It's an online folder. When you will click on it, you will find everything over there in one single folder. All the videos, all the UWorld past papers, everything. Just one folder will have everything. I will share it with you. Just open it, you will find everything over there. And I will share it. I will ask eTutor Finder to share for this. I will also be taking further guidance sessions, and also like I teach MBBS students as well, the basic clinical sciences. So if you are interested in taking the courses to prepare for the USMLE, even for your university exams, on Saturdays, Sundays, if I have time, when I have time, I take classes. So we take one module, like for example, hematology module, CVS module. So I teach you online for that. Okay, it's an interactive class. I have a pen tablet, so I teach you over there. It's not like university slides. It's a whole interactive session, and I try to teach you conceptually. Okay, so these are the books. I will share the recording with you. You can go through it. Okay, so if you like this session, if you want more session like these, so recommend me on my Facebook page. I will share the link with you over there. It really helps. And also tell your fellow students, your classmates about that, how like this session was helpful for you. So in the next session, even more students can participate and they can get help from there. And I'm currently studying in GSMU. So those of you who are in GSMU, if you need any help, I can help you out. But I guess the time will be different because we have wards as well. Okay, so if you have any further question, you can message it to the finder in the next session, or I will just type it down and message it to you as I get time. So I will help you over there. So if you have any questions regarding physiology, I will also open this group so that you can message, do the discussions over here. If you have any query, you can message me. Okay, and I will be needing some representatives from your university. So if you want to participate in that, if you want to become a volunteer representative for your university, message eTutor Finder. There are quite perks for that as well that you can discuss with eTutor Finder. And so just you can convey the message, like if there is any workshop like this, so more students can take part in it. Okay, so I will try to upload the recording as soon as possible. It's a big one. So thank you very much. Thank you for taking the session. Okay, thank you. Allah Hafiz.